Now that we have gathered all the data required to configure USART1 on STM32, so let us go to the STM32 Cube ID and configure our USART1 according to the data. So here I have opened the STM32 Cube ID and open this connectivity section. You will find USART here, USART1 and USART2. So from the schematic of our discovery board, we have found out that the USB to serial converter, the built-in USB to serial converter, is connected to USART1 and not to the USART2. So we have to configure this one, USART1. Click here on USART1 and we will enable this, and the mode we will select this asynchronous mode. Flow control we will not use, we will disable hardware flow control. And here are the basic parameters of this USART1. The baud rate is 38400. This is okay, we can keep this baud rate. Word length is 8-bit, parity is none, stop bit is 1. Direction is both receive and transmit. So all the default parameters are okay. Only we do not need to configure any parameter, just we have to note down this baud rate on which we are operating. You better keep this noted, so when we will configure our terminal application like this one, this real term, here I've opened real term application. This is the terminal emulator for Windows. So here while when we open our port, we have to select the baud rate like this, which we have set here 38400. So while opening the port, we have to select this one 38400. So please note down this value somewhere in your notepad, so in the future you know at how much baud rate you have to open your terminal emulator. And we also see that these USART1 pins are configured here on PA10 and this PA9. And we have also found out from the schematic of our discovery board that the virtual COM port, the virtual USB to serial port is from that debugger part is connected to these pins. And we have also made a note here PA9 PA10, and this Cube ID has also selected those pin only, so it is okay, nothing to change here. We can save and generate the code. So here the STM32 Cube ID has generated our project. Expand this folder, core folder, and under it is the source folder and the main file, the main.c file. Here you can see the main.c file, and this main.c file contains code as we have configured in our graphical user interface, that STM32 Cube code generator, graphical code generator. So here the code generator has created this code, this system clock configuration. This function actually configures the CPU clock, and here is the function for MX-SPI1 init that we have created to configure the SPI1, which was discussed on the previous video. This function MX-SPI1 init, this initialization code, this is for the SPI1, and on our SPI1 we have connected our that Ethernet controller chip, that is ENC28J60 on SPI1, that is connected. And another thing that we have configured on the graphical user interface was our this USART1 that we did previously. So this function is also created, mx usart1 uart init. This function initializes our usart1 interface on which we will send the debug data, messages, log message, and everything that is happening inside the microcontroller. It will be visible in our terminal software like this real time. Every data that our MCU will send, this will appear here on the black area, so we will clearly know what is happening inside the microcontroller and how our program is proceeding, what communication are going on, what are the contents of the register. Everything we will print here on the terminal using this usart1. So these were the main functions of this main.c file. This has been generated according to our graphical user settings, which we did earlier. Now our USART initialization code is complete, and now we will create a function to send single character to the USART. Here we will write a small function which send a single character to the USART, and this single character will be available on the PC on the terminal. We will create this function on the main file. Open the main file. This is the main file, main.c, and scroll to the bottom. After this SPI initialization code, there is the USART initialization code and the GPIO initialization code. After this we will put our function. This is a very small function that write a single character to the serial port, and this single character comes here as a parameter data, which is of type, and what we do inside this function is that we use this function HAL get flag. This function gets the status of the interrupt flag, and in this function we check the status of this flag, UART flag TXE. This TXE stand for transmit data empty, TXempty, that is TXempty. So we check this flag, and if this flag is reset, means the transmitter is not empty, so it loops here. You notice this semicolon, so this loop goes on and on until this flag is cleared, means until this flag is set. As soon as this flag is set, that is UART flag TXE, the code comes out of this while loop and comes to this point, and here we write the data which is coming as a parameter to the TDR register of the UART. TDR is the transmit data register. We write this data to the transmit data register, and this data is transmitted through the serial port automatically by the UART hardware. So here the instance definition, our UART definition, here the UART is defined as UART1. So we have to change this code a bit. Here we have to write UART1 now. So now this function can be used to send a single character to UART. After this we will see how we can use the function printf to send data to UART. The printf is a common stdio.h function. It's the standard input output library of the C programming language. Next, show you how you can redirect the output from printf to the this UART, our debug UART, that is the UART1. So anything that you will write in the function printf like this, any text you write like this in the printf function, it should go to the UART and should be visible on the terminal, your terminal, that is real term, any terminal program like real term. this program, the output should be available here in the real time. It will go through the serial port of the STM32, then it will enter the USB to serial converter and then to the USB port, and then it will come here on the terminal, and you will be able to see the same text here through the printf function. So we will see how to do that. To do that, in STM32, this cube ID, make sure you are running this version 1.6, or any other version you can also use, but just make sure that inside this source folder, src folder, this file is there, syscalls.c. this file should be there, and this file manages this redirection of outputs from the printf function to the serial port or any other hardware you wish to redirect these signals, these characters from printf function. So here two functions are defined by default, IO put char and get char. So actually these two functions are responsible for sending data to the serial port and getting data from the serial port. So we won't be using this get char function. The most important function we will use is this put char, because for this debugging purpose we will mainly use this serial port for output only. Means we will send some output from our microcontroller and it will come here to the terminal. That is the main use. We won't be sending any data from this terminal to the microcontroller. That we can do later, but for basic uses that is not required. So only one function we need to override, this function IO put char. So you can see here that these functions are defined a weak function. So this function could be defined again, that is called overloading. This function can be overloaded, and as this function are external function, this function can be overridden in any other file that is present in our project. So we will override this function extern int IO put char ch. This function I copy it from here and go to our main file, and below this function, just now we have written this function you write data. This function writes single character to the UART, the serial port. Below it I will paste this function. I will remove this semicolon. And here we need to override this function. How we want this data that comes from printf function, where should this ch data should go? So this data should go to our UART1 so that we can view it on our terminal. So inside this we will implement it like this. And we will pass this ch parameter to this function. Save the file. That's it. Only this much work we need to do. Now any output from the printf function will go to our UART through this function. To test this, I will go to the top and include the standard header file. That is stdio.h, standard io.h. Now we are ready to use the printf functions. So let us test this function, printf function, whether it is working fine or not. We will send a sample text to this printf function. The same text should appear in our terminal. In our terminal real term, this text should appear. Now a small bit of work is remaining. I will tell you the details now. What is the problem? Right now this code will not work. because the printf function, this function, it is internally buffered, means whatever data you write here, it first goes into a buffer, and when this buffer is full, then only it is actually written to the hardware, that is our UART. So we and this buffer is bit long, so only if you write a huge amount of text, then only it will get printed here. If you write small text like this, it will not get printed in the terminal. So we have to correct this problem. For that we have to disable the buffering. After this buffering is disabled, even a small character, even a single character will go directly to the UART. It will not go to the buffer, it will go directly to the UART write function. It will immediately, it will be visible here. So we have to do that, disable the buffering. I will tell you how to do that. So now let us see how we can disable this buffering. So open this main file, main.c, and this is main function, our main function. Just after the initialization of all hardwares, this auto generated code by the STM32Cube ID, after the initialization of GPIO, SPI and UART, and we have to just call a single function to disable this buffering, and this function is this setBuff. This function we have to call, and for stream we are using the stdout, the standard stdout. This stdout stand for standard output. A standard output, the standard output means where the these functions like printf function, whatever the data they send, where these go to the standard output stream. This is the stdout. And the second parameter is the buffer, and here we are passing null. Null is passed here to disable internal buffering. So let us see in detail about this function. If you Google this function, you will come to the standard C++ reference. This is the standard C++ reference, and here is the detail of this function, setBuffer, setBuff. So you can see here, if the buffer is a null pointer, buffering is disabled for the stream. This is what we are using here. We are passing a null pointer to disable buffering for this stream, and our stream is this stdout. After this function is called, the buffering will be disabled, and all the character that goes to the standard output, these are available immediately on the terminal. So only that, this thing you have to do. And this function, this function is also defined in this stdio.h file, which we have already included. stdio, standard input output, to support printf. This function is also defined in that library also. Only this you need to do. After that we are all ready to use our this serial port for debugging. We can use printf anywhere we like. Any data we can pass to this function printf, and it will be available in our terminal, and this will be very helpful in debugging. We have copied this function IOPutChar from our this syscall file. From here we have copied it to our main function, but one thing we have to do, we have to remove this thing extern, and these attributes, these are not required here, like this, and we also have to create a prototype for this function, which we have defined here. We will create a prototype for it in the beginning of the file. After these prototypes, done. So look carefully here how this function is defined, like this, and now we will try to build the code. Look, this compiled without any problem. Only one warning is there. This is because this function is not returning anything here. Here we have to return the original character that is passed here. We can return like this. Now it will compile without any problems or warning, 0 errors and 0 warning. Like this you have to define the function. Now let us debug this program. That means send this program from our IDE to the actual development board, the actual discovery board, and run it there. So here we are presented with this dialog, and here we can select our debugger, and our debug probe that is selected ST-Link, because this discovery board have a ST-Link debugger inside it, so we have to select this ST-Link debugger, and interface is serial wire debug, that is SWD and not JTAG. These boards, discovery boards and Nucleo board, this uses this SWD mode. And nothing more you have to configure, everything is set up correctly, just you need to hit OK. Here you can see it is connecting with the debugger connected. Program is also sent here to the program is uploaded to the development board, and it is also verified correctly and download verified successfully, and this ID, the STM32Cube ID, is now in the debug mode. You can see the cursor here, the blue pointer, so it has stopped here, and we can click run to execute our program, or we can also run it step by step. Right now we don't need it, we can just hit run this button, resume, and it will start executing the program, and we can see the output in our terminal. Here in the terminal we can see the output. Now we will go to our terminal program. This is real term, and we will open the serial port. Here we will select the same baud rate which we have used during programming, and we have used 38400. We will select 38400 baud rate here and click open. Now the port is open, and whatever data our microcontroller, our STM32 discovery board will send over USB, that will be visible in this black area. So now let us try. We resume the program and see what data comes in the terminal. Look, the data which we have sent to our printf function, here the same data is coming to our terminal. That means everything is working correctly. Thanks for watching. Now this video is complete. You can go and try this.